Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. Today I'm just doing some self-testing with my new Luminara and Padawans deck. I made one slight change to it. I took out Force Protection in favor of Force Speed. We'll see how this deck does against Poe and Maz. I don't think it'll win, but we're going to see how it does. So let's shuffle up our deck and draw our hand. Alright, so we have Force Illusion, My Ally is Force, Force Heal, Deflect, and Riposte. I'm gonna put Riposte and probably Force Heal back for now. Want to get a Vibro Knife or a Lightsaber. Deflect is good. Force Illusion is good, and so is My Ally is a Force. So let's shuffle up again, and we'll draw two more cards. Close Quarters Assault and Deflect. Alright, Poe and Maz will shuffle their deck as well. A Hit and Run is good, so is Planetary Uprising. I'm going to put back Second Chance, Draw Attention. I might keep Electroshock. We're going to keep Electroshock, and we're going to draw two. Maz's Goggles and Dug In. Alright. Nothing yet to use with Poe's ability. But I suppose we could discard Maz's Goggles with that, but that would kind of be silly. Resource blank, so there's 1 and 2 for the roll-off. Them. If Luminara and the Padawans win the roll-off, they're going to play on their battlefield. They don't want them to be able to cycle with stuff. So there's 2, 3, and that. They had 1 and 2, so we will take Mos Eisley. We will throw shields on Poe. Alright, each player has 2 resources, so we'll come back over here. I'm going to pay a resource, and we're going to put Force Illusion on Luminara. We will pay 2, and play Planetary Uprising. That's not Planet, there it is. Planetary Uprising. So whenever they claim the battlefield, Luminara and the Padawans will have to spread 2 damage however they like. I'm going to go ahead and roll in Luminara. This deck is a slow deck, so I don't expect to be claiming a whole lot, so there's a resource. I could hit and run with Poe, but that doesn't seem super useful because I don't really have anything to discard for his ability yet. So we're going to go ahead and roll in Poe. We have a blank and 3 damage for a resource. I will pay a resource, and we will deflect Poe's die. So it does spot a blue character, remove a die showing range damage, and deal half that damage rounded up to a character. So that'll do 2 damage to Poe, and that'll remove his shields. Back over to Poe and Maz. They can roll Maz. That. And resolving up to 2 dice. So we could, we're going to focus Poe. I'm not going to focus him to a special. I suppose I could discard Maz's Goggles to use the special on that. But I am going to focus him to his normal damage side, 2 damage. And we will resolve 2 damage on Luminara. Back, and they have a shield remaining. Back over here, I can get a resource, but we're going to go ahead and roll in our Padawan. Melee damage. They'll grab another shield on Poe. I will roll the Padawan, the second Padawan. And we have a blank there. Alright, back to them. They don't have any resources. And they can't use that. So I think they're just going to go ahead and claim, triggering Planetary Uprising. And then I will take 2 damage, distributed however I like, and I'll put 1 on each of the Padawans. I have a resource and a blank. I'm going to use Close Quarters Assault. I don't really want to discard that. Was okay to get a resource. We've used the deflect already. I don't want to discard that one. So we'll discard close quarters assault, and we will re-roll Luminara and one of the Padawan dice. Luminara's on a blank, and Padawan is on focus. All right, so back to me. I will focus Luminara to her special. And then I will resolve that special, which is resolve one of your character dice, increasing its value by 2 or by 3 instead if it is a non-unique character. So I'm going to resolve the special here to turn this 1 damage into 4 damage, and we'll hit Poe for 4 damage. It's 1, and then it increases by 3. And that will be the round. And we're going to save Force Illusion for a bigger hit, like if they throw out the rocket launcher or throw out another thermal detonator or anything like that. So 2 more resources, and we'll draw 3 cards. There's Force Illusion, Lightsaber, and Overconfidence. Anything I want to keep, we could also use Dug In now as well. So get 2 resources. Keep that, keep that. I don't really know if we need Maz's goggles. I would rather get like a rocket launcher, something like that. So we're actually going to discard Maz's goggles to draw 2 cards. Second chance and draw attention. Alright, and it's on them. They can hit and run and do all that with Poe and Maz. I think even though I don't have anything to discard, we can still do some decent damage with this. So we're going to do hit and run, rolling Poe. Poe will roll in. So we have here a special and a resource. Again, nothing to really discard for his special. Ambush action, we will roll Maz and then resolve up to 2 dice. We have a shield and a resource. Nothing great, really. So I suppose I could get a shield. I could also just get a resource from Poe. I'm going to leave Poe's dice alone. But I am going to grab a shield on Poe. And I'm not going to resolve the other one, so we'll just leave that there. I'm going to use the Padawan's ability and play a lightsaber on it for 2 resources, because while this character does not have an upgrade, the cost to attach one is increased by 1, so this lightsaber goes on for 2. And then it can also redeploy later. So we have 2 resources still. We could Electroshock. We could also use Dug In. I think I'm going to pay 1 and use Dug In. Getting 3 shields, so there's 2 on Poe, 1 on Maz. Okay, so we're shielded up. We will go ahead and roll in our Padawan. So we have a focus and a resource. All right, focus and resource. Suppose I could draw attention and move damage off of Poe, but he's pretty well protected right now. I could electroshock one of those dice, but I think I'm going to discard draw attention to re-roll everything. So we have a range damage, a resource, and disrupt. Not great, but we're going to go ahead and I can get a resource. The lightsaber, not sure if I should do that. I don't have any resources, so I can get a resource for overconfidence. I can get a resource to play Force Illusion or Deflect. Yeah, I'm going to take that resource. Go ahead and get the resource. They could disrupt it. However, I think they might want to discard for a reroll. They can do 1 damage now. We're going to discard an electroshock to reroll both of Poe's dice. Hopefully land on some range damage. 2 damage and a blank. 2 damage and a blank. I could use overconfidence. I could also use deflect to remove that die as well. I think I'm going to... What's the safer play? Using deflect or using overconfidence? Overconfidence removes a die. So does deflect. Deflect does damage though. So I'm going to deflect Poe's die. It'll remove it and it'll knock off one of his shields. Back over to Poe and Maz. We have range damage and a blank. We're going to do 1 damage to Luminara. That'll bring her up to 3. And I'm not going to use Force Illusion yet. And we'll roll, go ahead and roll Luminara. Focus. They have a blank, they can discard for a reroll. I don't think they're going to do that. They will grab the battlefield and then we'll spread 2 damage. 2 and 2. Back over here, so we have focus, focus. We're going to go ahead and roll our other Padawan. 2 melee damage, focus, focus. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I have no resources, so I can't really do anything else. I'm going to focus the Padawan to Luminara's special. She has a focus as well. We're going to resolve the special. And we will do, we can do 5 damage to Maz. We can also do 5 damage to Poe. We'll do 5 damage. That'll knock off the shields, and we'll do 2 more. Poe is at 5. And that, I believe, will be it for the round. Overconfidence, Force Illusion, and my ally is the Force. We'll draw 2 cards. Alright, no Vibro Knives yet. So we got All In and another, my ally is the Force. 2 resources. We will ready them. We'll draw 4 cards. Alright, there's another Planetary Uprising, and again, nothing really to use a post special. We could, I suppose, use Cunning special, but I don't think we're going to do that. So, first play, we're just going to pay 2 resources and throw out our second Planetary Uprising. And I have 2 resources as well. See what we should do here. We're going to do another Force Illusion. Most of this stuff I have to wait to actually play. Another Force Illusion might not be bad, but we're going to go ahead and roll this Padawan. A resource and +2 damage. They could get rid of that +2 of defensive position if they wanted. This should be over here. Hit and run. Have a resource, so I could do hit and run and still do some damage. I would rather hold that until I had an upgrade to use of it. So I'm just going to roll Poe. We have a Disrupt and the blank. I can Overconfidence now as well. I have a resource. I'm going to pay a resource. We're going to play Overconfidence on Poe's dice. And we will remove the lower value die. So that and that. I choose in the case of a tide or both single disrupt. We'll remove that one. Back over to Maz. We'll activate her. Roll her in and resolve up to 2 dice. We have here focus and focus. So we'll use this focus. And I'll pay that resource. So we'll set Poe to 3 damage for a resource. Spend the resource. We'll do 3 damage to Luminara. We'll actually trigger Force Illusion this time, blocking the 3. So there is a flank, a Vibro Knife, and another Overconfidence. So that prevents that 3 damage from going off. We will then roll Luminara. A resource. Back to Poe and Maz. Nothing left really to do. They can't really focus. They'll claim, and then we'll spread 4 damage. So we'll bring each Padawan up to 3 damage. That's 2, and we'll do 2 on Luminara. Luminara's at 5. Back over here, roll the Padawan. Focus. Resource. We could do. Suppose we could do all in. Have a resource left. I will actually pay the resource. Play another Force Illusion on Luminara. I want to keep that. I want to focus into the special, but we need to probably also do a. So I'm going to discard all in. Not all in. I'll discard one of my ally as a force. Reroll this Padawan. Blank. I can focus it into damage, but I still need Luminara on her special, so I'll discard all in. Blank again. I have one more reroll to go. That's a focus. Let's discard the third. My ally is the force, and reroll the Padawan. Blank for a third time. All right. So, yep, just no good rolls today. So let's focus Luminara. What do I want her to do? We'll focus her to 2 damage. And then we will resolve 4 damage on Poe. And that will be it. Just couldn't get those rerolls to work to get to the damage on. I wanted to get damage on this Padawan. Use the focus to go to the special to do 5. But we'll have to take the 4, I guess. Draw 5 cards. Alright, again, no Vibro Knives. We've discarded one of them. The resource. We have one of the Force, Riposte, Force Heal, and another Force Heal. Let's see what we want here. We're going to throw back Cunning, throw away Cunning, probably throw away Defensive Position. Maybe keep that. We'll just draw 2. Alright, there's a Rocket Launcher and Dodge. Alright. Back over here. Now we can do our hit and run. So we'll do hit and run, Rolling Poe. Two and a Disrupt. Let's roll Maz with Ambush, and then resolve up to 2 dice. Blank and a Shield. We will do 2 damage to Luminara. Trigger Force Illusion. Guard and Guard. Alright, so that'll prevent that from going off. Back over here. I don't have enough to play one of the Force. Suppose I could play it on the Padawan. Still want that melee damage out there, though. Because they're obviously going to go after her first. So I would rather have the one of the Force be on her, but I'm going to override my lightsaber. For 3, play one of the Force, and we'll pay 1. Right, back to Poe and Maz. I suppose I could just straight up play the rocket launcher on Maz, possibly. I won't have any resources to use it right away, but that's what we're going to do. Is it 4? No, it's 3. Pay 3. Throw out rocket launcher on Maz. See what we want to do. We're going to roll our Padawan with one of the Force. Blank and 2 shields. I'm going to discard Dodge, and we will re-roll everything. 2 damage, focus, and a resource. We can get 2 shields. Let's go ahead and roll Luminara. Blank. Back over to Poe and Maz. Going to actually focus Poe from 2 damage to 3 damage for a resource. Go ahead, grab 2 shields. We will pay the resource, and we'll actually do 3 to the Padawan here. Now the Padawan is at 6. 2 blank showing. We'll roll the other Padawan. Melee damage. Take a resource. I'm going to discard Riposte to re-roll these 2. Blank and blank again, alright. They will claim the battlefield, triggering 4 damage. So 1 of the planetary uprisings will be blocked by shields. And then we take 2 more damage. Put 1 on her. Luminara took 1 of them as well. Let's discard a Force Heal for a reroll. Blanks again. Alright. They claimed. So we will discard the other Force Heal for another reroll. Blank there and 2 melee there. So we will do 3 damage to Poe. That'll defeat him, and that will be the round. Get 2 resources, and we'll draw 4 cards. Ready Maz, we'll get 2 resources. And we'll draw 3 cards. Alright, back over here, we are going to pay 3 resources, giving Maz second chance. Back over here, I will throw Force Speed on Luminara. Going to go ahead and roll out Maz. She doesn't have a resource to use the rocket launcher yet, but she may get one in her roll. That we have here. Focus. We get a resolve 2, so we will grab a resource and then pay the resource to do 4 damage to Luminara. That'll defeat Luminara because she'll be at 10. Force Speed will get discarded, and she still has a focus left. Suppose I can claim the battlefield now to prevent the 4 damage. Because if they do that, that'll be 1 damage here, defeat, 3 damage here, defeat. So that's pretty much game. We're just gonna pay 2, throw a lightsaber. And then Maz will claim the battlefield, spreading 4 damage. So the damage will go 1 damage here. That'll defeat that Padawan. This will become a support. And the other 3 damage will go over here. So we're at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that'll defeat that Padawan. And this will have redeployed, but all characters have been defeated. So that is Luminara and 2 Padawans against Poe and Maz. They were able to defeat Poe, but Maz having a rocket launcher and second chance with both planetary uprisings in play made it fairly difficult. I'm going to bring my Luminara and Padawan deck out to my local game store tonight. I'm going to actually try it against some actual decks, see how it does. I also am bringing my Aura Sing and Bala Tick deck with me as well. And I will let you all know in next week's weekly wrap up how I did tonight at this local event. It's just going to be casual tonight. But until next time, that's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Take care.